Everybody who's ever said that, anybody in America or in the world who's successful, they will tell you that there was a time in their life when they decided that they could do whatever it is they set their mind to. So regardless of talking about programs and best practices and empirical-based research, I think we really need to talk about self-efficacy. Giving children opportunities to be successful, letting them know that they can be successful in given areas, because success begets success. That's how we raise it. And we have to know children, individual children, because one success for Johnny will not be the same success for Jason. So we have to make sure that Jason, if Jason can only tie his shoes, then we got to cheer like we're crazy for Jason tying his shoes. Whereas Johnny can tie both shoes, well, Johnny maybe put on his coat. And granted, I'm talking more about these like social types of things and not necessarily academic right now, but I'm trying to make the point that every child is a study of one. And we try to sometimes in education just with a paintbrush and say that this will work for everybody. And that's not the case. So I think individual successes for children, I don't think that necessarily comes from a mentoring program. I don't think that necessarily comes from the effects of communicator similarity. I think it comes from getting to know children, helping them find a success. And that one success, tying a shoe, yeah, that can later become counting how many eyelets I have on my shoe. So that's what builds. Self-efficacy is probably one of the most major components of education that we don't talk about enough.
What do you hope black educators take away from the conference?
The biggest thing that I hope black educators take away is that we have something to bring to the table. Anyone can become college educated. Harvard, Yale, Oxford, wherever you want to go. If you apply yourself, you can go. There's something that the minority educator brings to the table called life experience that no one can go and get that. You can't go to my inner city projects and grow up like I did and bring that to a classroom. Only you can't buy that experience. I can tell you about it all day long. But until you've lived it and owned it, that's my reality. And that's also the reality of a lot of children in our classrooms today. So we have to remember what we bring to the table. It wasn't taught in schools. In fact, in many graduate programs, they almost make minorities or African American educators think that it's almost bad to talk about those things. They almost stifle it. We need to tell our stories. We need to share our stories. We're successful, and no one gave it to us. We didn't wake up one morning and we were doctors. Children need to know that. They need to know that that's a part of that self-efficacy, that it wasn't doctor overnight. First it was I graduated, and I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated. And then I went to college, and man, there were so many opportunities there, but I had to choose something. So one success leads to another success. But they also need to know that it's because of your failures too that you're where you are. So just because you mess up doesn't mean you have to give up. So there's a whole lot of intricacies in your questions. And of course, I don't think there's one magic bullet, but I do think self-efficacy has more to do with it than anybody really realizes.